Yes, dear students. So another topic here is stability constant and what are the factors that influence stability constant. That's another very important question. Now we shall learn. In coordination complexes, we have two important constants, that is thermodynamic stability and another one is kinetic stability. So in coordination complexes we have two varieties of stabilities. One is a thermodynamic stability and another one is a kinetic stability. Now what this thermodynamic stability gives information. Now here thermodynamic stability, it will give us the bond strength between metal and ligand. So metal and ligand, the strength of the bond. So MBL strength. That information we get it. And another one is stability constant. And we have thermodynamic variables, that is temperature, pressure and concentration. How they will have influence on this stability constant. So thermodynamic stability is mainly giving the information regarding the bond strength between metal and ligands, and it will indicate the stability constant. And the thermodynamic variables like temperature, pressure and concentration, how they are influencing this stability constant. Now for expressing this thermodynamic stability, we are using two words, that is stable and another one is unstable. Stable and unstable, these are the terms used for expressing this thermodynamic stability. Okay, now come to this kinetic stability. What information this one is given? Number one is it gives rate of reaction. So how speed, rate of reaction. So with how much speed the reaction is going for completion. And another information is giving the mechanism. It will give us the information of mechanism also. And lastly, it will give us same thermodynamic variables, so that is temperature, pressure and concentration, how they are influencing this rate of the reaction. That information also we get it by this kinetic stability. Now for expressing thermodynamic stability, we are using the two important terms, one is stable, another one is unstable. Whereas this kinetic stability, it is expressed by two words, one is labile and another one is inert. So labile means very reactive, that's the meaning. Inert means it is least reactive, just meaning, literary meaning. Now Taube has given the correct definition for what is labile complex, what is inert complex. Labile complex means if a complex undergoes a substitution reaction where it will take a time of less than 1 minute, and that the solution must have 0.1 m concentration and the temperature must be 25 degrees centigrade. So such complexes are called labile complexes. And inert complex means concentration is the same, temperature is also same. If it takes a time more than 1 minute, then it is called as an inert complex. So this is a different issue. Now here kinetic stability is expressed in terms of labile complex and inert complexes. Now is there any relation between these two stabilities? That is thermodynamic stability and kinetic stability. Just 1 minute. Now actually these stabilities, they are independent. Say for example, thermodynamically stable complex may be, it may be mobile or it may be inert. Similarly, an unstable complex, thermodynamically it is unstable, but it may be mobile or it may be inert also. So, for example, let us take one example. Mercury is a cyanide. So, tetracyano. Cyanide is Cn-1. 4 ligands are there. So, total charge will be -4. Now, here mercury is mercuric mercury. So, it is +2. Then we have -2. So, this tetracyano mercurate. Why? Because it is present in the coordination sphere. If it carries negative charge, then the metal name must end with EH. That we have learned already in the IUPAC rules. And this compound, actually, it is thermodynamically highly stable. So what we are expecting, there is no need for it to participate in the chemical reactions, but it is very, very reactive also. So it is highly stable and highly reactive, highly labile. Let us take another one. Say for example, chromium, cobalt or chromium. Say its charge is +3 because amine. It is a neutral ligand, so hexamine cobalt. Now this one, it is a unstable compound, unstable complex. So we are expecting it must be very, very labile, reactive. But instead it is inert in acidic medium. So in acidic medium, this complex is behaving as an inert complex. So there is no link between thermodynamic stability and kinetic stability. They are independent. So a stable complex may be labile or it may be inert. Similarly, an unstable complex may be labile or it may be inert also. Okay. Now let us have the information of what is this stability constant and what are the factors that influence the stability constant. Very important is, so stability constant. Here we must have some prior information, that is, say for example, acids or bases. Here I have taken hydrofluoric acid, HF. When it is dissolved in water, it will split up into ions like this. So this is the acid. It has been converted into its ions. Now this is the equilibrium reaction. So here there is one law of equilibrium. So according to the law of equilibrium, the equation how we are writing is the product of, actually this one, they are reactants and they are products. Products form. Now the product of, here this spelling, its meaning is multiplication. The product of the sum of product of products by the sum of concentrations of the reactants. Can you repeat please? So products concentrations. Concentrations generally, concentration is represented by a square bracket. Now products are H positive and F negative. So this is H positive and this one is F negative. Now this is into multiplication, that is a product of products form by the sum of concentrations of reactants. Here there is only one reactant, that's why here I am writing HF. Concentration of F. This is called K. K is called as the equilibrium constant. So K is written as equilibrium constant. Now its formula is representing the product of is into the product of concentrations of products by the product of concentrations of reactants. Here in the reactants we have only one species, that's why we don't have product here also. So only F is there. Suppose if there is A also, then we would have been written like this. Concentration of A into concentration of H. Okay? Now this K is called as equilibrium constant. It is mainly called as, its name is, it is termed as ionization constant. Try to form this ionization constant, or it is also called dissociation constant. Why it is called so? Now if we observe this one, this is the numerator and this is the denominator. Now K value, when it will be high, we get a greater value when numerator is a higher value and denominator is a lower value. Then we get a greater K value. That means number of ions, it has been increased. So number of ions are more in number than the reactant molecules. That means reactant molecule, it is being dissociated. It is undergoing break. The bonds are breaking and it is converted into ions. Or it is undergoing ionization. So this K value is high means it indicates the reactant, this reactant. The reactant is it is representing its instability. That is, it is highly unstable. That's why it is converted into its ions easily. That's why K value is more. So we say this K as instability constant also. Instability constant. So in the case of acids and bases, we use the word K. It stands for equilibrium constant. So when we are discussing with acids and bases, it will be called as either dissociation constant or it is also called ionization constant. It can also be called as instability constant. Actually, we have instability word, but we don't have unstable. We say unstable. So unstable word is there. Unstable. So instability represents the degree of unstableness. Okay. So it is another synonym of this unstable word. So we are using this word instability constant. That is nothing but ionization constant or a dissociation constant, or it is simply equilibrium constant. Okay. Now this dissociation or ionization constant or instability constant, it is related with our complexes also. What is that link? You have to follow it. Now don't forget here, law of equilibrium, it says the product of concentrations of the products to the product of concentrations of the reactants. So that is the formula of the mathematical formula, law of equilibrium. Now let us take the formulation of a complex. Metal ion, say its charge is plus N, plus we have X number of ligands, then we get a complex, that is M, L, X, and then we have M, charge. Now this is a complex, and here we have, this is metal ion, and this one is L. Now, the equilibrium constant is equal to, apply that law of chemical equilibrium. here the product of concentrations of products is continues the product. So I will write like this: N love X times and the chart is plus. Right? Now on the reactant side we have two species. One is concentration of metal ion and into concentration of ligands, that is X times. So the equilibrium constant K is equal to concentration of a complex by concentration of metal ions and concentration of ligands. Okay. Now once again here also when K will be more. So here in the denominator side we have ions, that is metal ion and ligands both are present. Their concentration must be low and the numerator concentration must be high. Then we get the P value maximum. So that indicates that. So the concentration of metal ions and concentration of ligands must be low, means its number must be low. Okay. Then here more amount of complex is being formed. How it is formed? Because of association between, there is some attraction between the metal and the ligand. So what is that is existing between the metal ions and ligands is association. Association. So this equilibrium constant is a direct measure of the association that is existing between the metal ion and the ligand. So when these ions, that is metal ion and ligands, if they are associating with one another, then we are getting more amount of this complex. Okay, so that's why we say more amount of complex is formed means it is more stable. That's why this equilibrium constant is also called stability constant. So here we use the word stability constant. Because metal ions and ligands, their concentration is low, means they are unstable. More amount of complex is being formed means its stability is more, it is very stable. So that's why this equilibrium constant is a direct measure of the association between the ions that gives a more stable product, that is the complex. That is why we are using the stability constant. So if the stability constant value is more, means the complex is much more stable. That is the meaning. So stability of complex is directly proportional to stability constant. So if the stability constant value if it is more, then definitely the complex will be more stable. That is the way. Now what is the link between the instability constant and the stability constant? So here stability constant is equal to stability constant is equal to the inversely proportional to instability constant. Instability constant. Okay. Then we have factors that are influencing this stability constant. Here, main point is we have to understand this stability constant. Then regarding the factors, we don't have much complications, but in that the factors are divided into two categories. One is metal factors and the second one is ligand factors. Okay. One new word, not a new word, actually in intermediate also we have learned, that is ionic potential, that is represented by I, EHI. Okay, I, that is nothing but charge by ionic radius. Ionic rings. So this ratio, if it is more than stability constant in number. So generally in the metallic factors, we have given here 5 points. All are directly proportional. That is, stability of the constant is directly proportional to this ionic potential. Then we have its electronic configuration also. There is much complications are not there in the case of factors. And in the case of ligand factors, there is one word that is chelate effect. That one. I will simplify this one. Chelate effect means we have already learned the polyident ligands. That means a ligand can occupy more than one site. Suppose if it is occupying 2 sites, in the case of a metal complex, there is called a bident ligand, trident ligand, tetradent ligand, like that. So here, these polyident ligands, they will form with the metal ring structures, that is a cyclic structures. They are called as the chelates, chelate complexes. That means ring or cyclic complexes. That is the meaning. So here regarding the chelate effect, that is more when the rings are more in number. If the size is greater, then that effect will be decreased. So only in the case of stability constants, while discussing about the ligand factors, regarding the size, it is inversely proportional, and regarding the number of rings, then it is directly proportional. Then we have to remember. So remaining part is not that much complicated. That's why I am not giving a detailed in that. Now we shall move to another important essay, that is nucleophilic substitution. Nucleophilic substitution. We write like this. Yes, yeah. Then is a subscript. Don't write it equally. Okay? It must be somewhat lower in position. Now this is a nucleophilic substitution. Now try to understand how many types are there. This is also very, very important. So what is nucleophilic substitution and how many types are there in their mechanisms? That is the another stock question we will have. So first of all, we must learn. We are studying the complexes, coordination complexes. The general formula of complex engineering is M, L, N. So this is the coordination sphere. Ionic sphere may have ligands also. Say for example, if I take EFE CN6. Suppose if I write here +4, then minus 4. Cyanide is -1. How many number? 6. So total charge is -6. Now the remainder is -4. That means here how much we have to add? Iron it can have either +2 or it is having +3 oxidation state. So, say for example, if it is a ferric form, ferrous form, so lower oxidation state means its name must be ended with us. Higher oxidation state, if it is present, then its name must be ended with it. So, iron Latin name is ferrum. So, if it is present in +2 oxidation state, its name will be ferrous. If it is present in the +3 oxidation state, its name will be ferric. Now, for example, its charge is +2. Then if you subtract that one, then you will have the remainder -4. For balance that one, if you write here P4, then it is called as a potassium ferrocyanide. Then this will go out. So -4 will become 0. Why? Because 4 potassiums I have added, 1 potassium is +1. Like that. So here we must understand this one first. In the case of a complex, we have ligands. There is one more ligand, another ligand is there. In the case of these complexes, one ligand is replaced by another ligand, then it is called as a substitution. So the process in which the ligand present in the coordination sphere or either in the ionization sphere or in one word in a complex. So a ligand present in a complex, if it is replaced by another ligand, then we call that reaction as a ligand substitution. Then instead of writing ligand substitution, why here I have written nucleophile substitution. That we have to understand. Generally, what is the main function of this ligand? Ligand will give a pair of electrons to the metal. Then it will form a day-2 bond with its coordinate covalent bond is formed between these two species. So ligand here is giving a pair of electrons, so it is called as a Lewis base. And here metal is acting as a Lewis acid. So what I need to say here is ligand is a Lewis base, it is rich in electrons. That means it is considered to be negatively charged. If it is having a lone pair, then it is neutral. Then also it is having the tendency to give a pair of electrons. Or if we take a negatively charged ligands, already we are seeing that the electron density is more. So like that here, ligands are generally electron rich. So a electron rich species, it is called as a nucleophile. Phile means attraction. Nucleus is carrying positive charge. So it is a positive center attracting species. That is why it is called as a nucleophile. Now electrophile means electrophile. Phile means attraction. Electron carries negative charge. That is a negative center. So it is having attraction with the negative center. That is the meaning. That is called as electrophile. Electrophile generally is represented as P positive. Nucleophile we represent this as Nu with minus having one LP, lone pair of electrons. So here, in the case of a complex, a ligand is replaced by another ligand. That's why it is called as a replacement means that reaction is called as a substitution. One ligand is replaced by another ligand, that's why it is called as a ligand substitution. Since the ligand is a Lewis base and it is rich in electrons, that's why it is behaving as a nucleophile. That's why we say one nucleophile present in a complex is replaced by another nucleophile. So this is also a substitution. So we are considering this ligand as a nucleophile. That's why the substitution is called a nucleophilic substitution process. So we will write represented by this symbol SCN. Nucleophilic substitution. Now it is of two types. That is SCN1 and SCN2. So those two numbers we have to understand. What is that? Now majority of the reactions, chemical reactions, they are not occurring in a single step. They are occurring in multiple steps. That is A plus B. Say for example, it is giving C. C plus say some G will give us a D. Now D plus some M will give us a final product, for example. That means this reaction is occurring more than in one step. So in more than one step it is occurring. So each step, individual step, it is called as a elementary step. So majority of the reactions, they are not occurring in a single step. They are having a series of, a sequence of elementary steps in between the reactants and the final product. So such multiple step reactions, they are having elementary steps. Each individual reaction is called as an elementary step. Then if we want to calculate what is its rate, what is the speed with which that reaction is going for completion. For measuring this rate, we must consider each elementary step rate also must be considered. Say for example, first step it is having the rate R1, second one R2, third one R3. Then we have to add all these rates. Then only we will get the overall rate of this reaction, total reaction. So here one important term is we must understand what is this rate determining step. Rate determining step. Rate determining step means a elementary step that is taking maximum time, or it is occurring very slowly. That step is called as a rate determining step. Now try to understand the meaning of this one. For understanding that, I am giving one example. Say, you might have heard relay race. What? Relay race. That means, say for example, a team consists of 5 athletes in Olympics also. We have this relay race. So 5 member team, one team. Say for example, 5,000 meter race. 5,000 meters. So here first of all, generally here we will take 5 persons. Each person is completing 1,000 meters. Okay. Now, in the case of relay race, first person he will run 1,000 meters and he will give his stick to the second person. So like that, second one will give to the third one. So like that, they have to complete this 5,000 meters race. That is called as a relay race. Say for example, there is one team that has scored gold medal. For example, now prior to that their match, their competition, suppose one person was injured, then the probability of securing this gold medal will be in dilemma. Why? Because one person, one candidate in their team was injured. That means remaining team members, they are concentrating on that particular person, whether he will complete his 1,000 meters in that required time or not. So that gold medal was decided by who? Which person? Injured person. Why? Because he may move slowly. So like here, a elementary step that is occurring slowly, that is called as a rate determining step. So overall reaction, whose rate mainly decided by who? Rate determining step. So in this rate determining step, how many atoms, how many ions, or how many molecules they are participating, that we have to count. That constitutes molecularity. So in chemical mechanics, you have learned molecularity, unimolecular, bimolecular, trimolecular, like that we have learned. What is the definition? Unimolecular means in the rate determining step, only one atom or ion or molecule or in one word, the chemical species. If the chemical species is only one that is involved in that rate determining step, that is called as a unimolecular reaction. Okay, so here the numbers which I have written here, 1 and this one is 2. This must be written as unimolecular. That means in the rate determining step, only one molecule or ion is participating. And what is that reaction? It is a nucleophilic substitution. So full name, unimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. Similarly, what is this SN2? It is a bimolecular. That means in the rate determining step, 2 chemical species are involved. That is called as a bimolecular, and that is also a nucleophilic substitution. So it is a bimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. Okay? Now, with this flashback, now I am moving to the mechanism. So nucleophilic substitution means If a nucleophile is replaced by another nucleophile, then that process is called as nucleophilic substitution, and it is represented by SN. And we have two types of nucleophilic substitutions, that is unimolecular nucleophilic substitution, and another one is bimolecular nucleophilic substitution. Now I am taking the first one, that is SN1. Now in this, we must take octahedral complex. Now we have a complex, say ML5X, and you know what is a coordination number. So the number of ligands which are directly linked with the metal through dative bonds, they are called, that is called, the number is called the coordination number of that particular metal. Now here 5 ligands L and 1 ligand is X. So total ligands number is 6. So the coordination number is equal to 6. Now this is treated with another ligand Y. Now here this is a equilibrium reaction. This X is replaced by this Y. So we get L5Y plus X. This is the overall reaction. Now here also coordination number is 6. There is no change in the overall reaction. If we consider the overall reaction, that is, if we move from reactants towards the product side, coordination number is more than 3. Now let us have the mechanism, how this SN1 mechanism is going on, and what is the mechanism of this SN2 reaction. Now this overall reaction, in the case of SN1 mechanism, it is occurring in 2 steps. So in the first step, what is happening? In the first step, this complex ML5X, that will divide X. So the bond between metal and X, that will be broken, and we have ML5 plus X. This step, it occurs very slow. That's why such a slow step can be called as a rate determining step. Now in the second step, this ML5, that will react with Y. Then we are getting ML5Y. That is the final product we are getting. Now we shall see their coordination numbers. In the beginning, 5 plus 1 means 6. So coordination number is equal to 6. Now here only 5. That means coordination number, it has been reduced. So it is 5. Now this is coordination number 5. 1 ligand is being added. So here coordination number finally will become 6. Now the complexes which are having coordination number 6, they will have octahedral structure. And the complexes which have coordination number 5, they may have 2 types of symmetry geometries. That is, one is a trigonal bipyramid. So this is a trigonal bipyramid. Metal, 3 corners of a triangle will have 3 ligands. So totally 4. 3 ligands and the metal, they are present in one plane. And from top we have 1 ligand. From bottom we have another ligand. So ligands number is 5 totally, and here center, at the center we have a metal. So metal and the 3 ligands, they are in one plane, and one is on top, another one is in the bottom. So this is called trigonal bipyramid. Another one is square pyramid. This is the square, and we have a pyramid shape like this. Now metal at the center, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 becomes 2. This is a square pyramid. This is a square and having a pyramid. Here also the coordination number is 5. Now this mechanism, it can be represented diagrammatically. S1 mechanism. Now I am writing that one here practice. Don't by heart the things please. Try to understand the mechanism. It will be very, very easy. So in the beginning the coordination number is 6. So draw a octahedral complex. So metal is at the center, 4 ligands at the 4 corners. On top 1 ligand, bottom 1 ligand. So this is coordination number is 6. Now it is converted into 5. That means one possibility is it will have a trigonal bipyramid. This is shape, top and bottom. Okay, here coordination number 5. This is trigonal bipyramid. And another possibility, it may have square pyramid. So metal, 4 ligands, and on top we have 1. So this is a square pyramid, coordination number 5. Square pyramid. So here we have to write 1 is X is a ligand. Young, here in the beginning I have taken young 5 X. So 1 young must be X. Okay. Now here we have to write minus X plus minus X only. Then we get resistance. Now from here draw a octahedral complex, metal at the center, like this. 4 ligands, and here plus 1. Then we get this. So this is a octahedral complex whose coordination number is 6. Now come to this one, same, plus 1. We get octahedral complex. So this is SN1 mechanism. How? In the case of S1 mechanism, first step, why we have written here 1? Because the rate determining step, slow step. So M5X, it is converted into M5 plus X. This is occurring very slow. So this is the rate determining step in which how many molecules or atoms or ions are participating? Only 1. So the rate of this SN1 reaction, it is depending on. So rate is proportional to concentration of ML5X. Only 1 chemical species. So it is participating in the chemical reaction. That's why it is called as a unimolecular. And it is a nucleophile substitution. Why? Because one nucleophile X is replaced by Y nucleophile. So that's why it is a unimolecular nucleophile substitution reaction. Another very important word is there. So now here we have called this one as a unimolecular nucleophilic substitution reactions. Now in this, the mechanism that is occurring is called as this reaction is also called dissociation reaction. Dissociation. Why? Because in the first step, in the rate determining step, the bond that is present between M and X, that must undergo break. That must break. So that is the key point. That is the deciding factor for getting the rate of overall reaction. So rate of overall reaction is depending mainly on breaking off or dissociation of MX bond. That's why it is called a break. This reaction, SN1 reaction is called dissociation reaction. Okay, and the mechanism is called as a dissociation mechanism. So it must have this word also. Sometimes you may get explain the mechanism. They will do only this much. Then what we have to write? SN1 mechanism. Why? Because dissociation is playing a vital role in deciding the rate of the overall reaction. Okay, so this is the information regarding SN1. Now I am moving to SN2. Now in the case of SN2, the reaction is occurring in only one single step. So here, same ML5X plus Y gives rise to, there is only one step, so that will become the rate determinant step. And here we have Y ML5X. So here we get an intermediate. And intermediate is formed. Now from this we are getting ML5Y plus X. Now let us see the coordination numbers. Here coordination number 6, 5 plus 1. Now here 5, 6 and 7. Coordination number is 7 is equal to 7. So if the coordination number is 7, then it will have pentagonal pyramid. Pentagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at the center, metal, first ligand, second, third, fourth, fifth. Then from top, one ligand, from bottom, another ligand. So totally ligands number will be 7. Now this is the pentagonal bipyramid structure. So here the intermediate is having coordination number is increased by 1. Then it will convert it into L5Y. That means here coordination number is becoming 6 once. Now here this process up to the formation of an intermediate, the process is going slowly, and after the formation of this intermediate, the reaction will go for completion very quickly. So there is only one single pathway. So this itself will become rate determining step. Then rate of this reaction is decided by both concentration of these reactants, both concentration. That is, rate is proportional to concentration of ML5X into concentration of Y. So because here two species are involved in the rate determining step, so it is a bimolecular. It is a nucleophilic reaction, so N. It is a substitution, so yes. So it is a bimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. So in the SN1, I have used that word dissociation. Now what is happening here? The overall reaction rate, it is decided by who? Here, on one side, Y, it is forming a new bond. And at the other side, X, it is leaving the metal. So, breaking and making of bonds is occurring simultaneously. So, Y is being associated with metal by having a new bond. Okay. and at the same time this one it is undergoing breaking, that is a dissociation. X is leaving this metal. So the important fact here is already X is attached to this M completely. Now the new bond must be formed between metal and Y. That is playing a vital role. Association is the key role for deciding the rate of SN2 reaction. That's why it is called as the association reaction. SN2 reaction is nothing but association reaction, and that mechanism is called association mechanism, or it is simply called A mechanism. So, suppose if we get a question, explain with suitable examples A mechanism and B mechanism. Then what you have to write? Just one is okay. Now this will be represented diagrammatically also. Now first we have coordination number 6. So we must draw octahedral structure first. Metal, 4 corners, 4 ligands, top 1 ligand, bottom 1. So this is octahedral. Now what is happening here? Only one intermediate we are getting. So first we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is metal. 5 ligands from 5 corners, from the top 1, bottom 1. So say for example here we have Y and say here we have X. Remaining 5 are ligands. Okay, M, L5, X and U. This is the intermediate. This is a pentagonal by from which minus X. And this factor first. So we can see the octahedral complex. Metal, 4 ligands, 1 ligand, top. So this is the diagrammatic representation of SN2 mechanism or association mechanism. So this is also an important question. Then in the next class I will explain the transit and considering the substitution reactions occurring in square planar complexes. That's also important. Okay, next class we will see that.